Welcome to Malcolm Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcolm and Rochelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right podcast. I'm your host, Malcolm Reed, and joined by my lovely, talented wife, Miss Southern Shell. Shell, what do we got going on today?
Today we're talking football party foods.
Oh, yeah.
Blackstone grills.
Blackstone.
Super Bowl dip recipes. Plus, we're going to be answering a couple questions from our community about cooking wings, smoking cream cheese, and using a Weber to smoke.
Okay. That sounds like some good topics, man. I'm ready to jump on in. Tyler, you doing all right today, man?
Yeah, man, I'm doing great.
Good deal. Everybody's back from that ice storm we had last week, a pending doom. It's like 4 days of ice, and we did a podcast Friday. We squeezed it in there at the last minute, didn't we?
Yep.
Now it's like 70 degrees outside.
Now, yeah, it got back to 70, but rain's coming. It's going to storm tonight. There's wind advisories. And then it's going to be a beautiful weekend for the Super Bowl. Can I say Super Bowl on our podcast? I think I can.
I don't care.
We're not advertising.
Yeah. I feel like my sinuses are going through it right now.
Are they? Hey, yeah. Me too.
I feel like everybody's is.
Cold, hot, cold, humid, dry. I mean, it's everything.
What do you
I'm
want?
ready. Hey,
Got it.
I'm ready to go get detoxed in the Caribbean. That's happening next week. You didn't even list that as what we're talking about. We're on the countdown to, it's kind of like we celebrate our anniversary, kind of, Valentine's, you let me hunt all hunting season. This is like payback for you putting up with me all winter long. I take you to the Caribbean in February. You get out of all these winter blues, these weather changes. You get to go work on your tan early. I love how, all about Shell.
I love how you position that as like, this is all for you.
It's all for you.
I don't enjoy this.
I don't enjoy this at all. I mean,
he makes all the choices.
Yeah. I'm not like sending you and your girlfriends and staying here myself.
That would be a trip.
Then it wouldn't be Valentine's anniversary, all those good celebration things.
Yeah,
it would just be party down south, girls edition. The Tammys would be running wild.
Have you heard this thing like you're either Karen or you're a Tammy once you hit like over 40?
It's easy to confuse the two by looks. They're very deceiving.
Have you seen that, Tyler?
No, I have
like
not.
Something going on TikTok.
Oh, it's a TikTok thing, yeah. So y'all know what a Karen is.
Yeah.
She's down to stop the party. She is anti-everything. She gets disgruntled. She's had a bad day.
She takes notes.
She takes notes. She
writes down
calls
people.
management on you. She calls police on you. That's a Karen. Well, Shell's the opposite of a Karen. She's more in the Tammy qualification. They are down to party. DTP. They're the ones that want to stay to the bar closes. They want to play last man standing. They're down to play flip cup or beer pong. They might do a Kong rip. I don't know. Shoot some fireball.
That's awesome.
Tammys are fun.
They're not always Tammys.
What's in between? There's no in between.
Like, it's not quite a woo girl because you're like,
yeah.
Stage.
No, that's in your 30s.
Yeah. Woo girls.
You can't woo when you're 40.
I used to be a woo girl.
Yeah.
Now I'm a Tammy.
They transition, yeah. You can't call like a 30-year-old woo girl Tammy.
She hasn't aged yet.
Yeah, she hasn't aged yet. There's no going back. I don't think like Karens can come out of it either. Once you're a Karen, always a Karen.
Probably.
There are some young Karens, but they're not Tammys yet. You're not Tammy till you're 40.
So instead of becoming 40, we should just now call it becoming a Tammy.
Yeah.
Becoming a Tammy.
What would
There's
Tammy
way worse things to be in life than a Tammy.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee you, Tammys are fun. That's who I want to go on vacation with. I'm good for 2 or 3 days with a Tammy. I got to take a break.
So do I.
And maybe that's the thing, too. Tammys have to take breaks. Blue girls just keep going. Tammys, they're good for 2 days, and then they have to take a day to think about what all they did.
I feel like Tammy's got to be like a veteran. Like, instead, woo girls,
Yeah,
they
know
going outside,
stuff.
they're throwing up in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Tammy's a smooth out drinking. Like, you think you're a big boy till you hang out with some Tammys.
And
Case of wine, that's nothing.
Are you a Tammy?
know what's going down to. Like they know how to ice a cooler down. They know how to sneak booze into concerts. They know it all.
They know all the tricks. Oh yeah, all those tricks where you see the women putting the bottles underneath their underwear under their boobs. That's a Tammy move. That's a smooth Tammy move.
You learn all those in your woo girl days. And,
yeah. You implement them during Tammy phase.
So London Broils.
London Broils. Man, I was wrong about what a London Broil came from. I knew it was beef. Man, that's been Yellow Kitchen days. I do.
6 years ago.
I probably need to. I probably hadn't cooked a London Broil since.
So we talked about it last week. Like we didn't know what it was. Turns out you have a whole recipe about it.
I have a recipe on how to do them. Turns out you marinate them and grill them and serve them, rare across the grain. That's pretty much my MO for beef.
I wrote it.
I'm either serving beef rare, seared, or braised, like cooked down, like brisket or chuck roast or something like that. I'm not an in-between guy on my beef.
Yeah, for that London Broil recipe, you tenderized it with a jacquard.
Yeah.
You seasoned it with AP. You marinated it for a minimum of 4 hours with barbecue sauce, balsamic vinegar, olive oil, and some garlic. Took it out of the marinade, steak rubbed it, 2-zone fire on a big green egg. Once it hit 110 on the slow side, you seared it, and you said until it hit 130 to 135.
That's medium.
Yeah.
That's a little much for me.
Rested it. And then you sliced it. The pictures looked really good.
Oh, yeah. They were. Imagine that. You took them. Was those Yellow Kitchen days or were those Tan Kitchen days?
It was Tan Kitchen days.
Had to be one of my earlier, like when I first got my big green egg. Had to be one of those early big green egg videos.
But
I quit.
Very memorable.
I know why. Like I don't cook a lot of London Broils now because before then you didn't see flat iron steaks in the grocery stores a lot. But we started getting flat iron steaks and it was a thing. And that's what I was probably confusing it with it because the flat iron, I'm pretty sure. Honestly, now I'm confused myself. I don't know if the flat iron comes from the shoulder or not, but I could have swore one of them come out of the shoulder cut. But flat irons, they're a little bit smaller than a London Broil. Typically, a pound to 2 pounds is a big flat iron. Yeah. Cook them the same way. I usually tenderize them, marinate them, put them on the grill. And I usually sear those hot and fast.
Well, they're thin.
Yeah, they're thinner. But man, they're good.
That London Broil from the old recipe, it was a pretty thick cut of meat.
Typically, the London Broils are usually 3 or 4 pounds. I mean, it's a pretty good sized piece of meat. And it's dense. It doesn't have any fat on it. Yeah. It's just good meat.
You also got a new Blackstone here recently. It's a baby Blackstone.
Yeah, it's a baby Blackstone. It's so I have a big one that I keep down at deer camp, and we use it for breakfast or for cooking for a large group. I love cooking on it. It's fun.
Like cooking on it.
Oh man, flat top grill's fun to cook on. You stand there and you chef it up, like a line cook. And
they're easy to clean.
Yeah,
easy to take care of.
But Mark had bought one of these for like out riding, they go trail riding and stuff like that. But it was a 17-inch one. And he bought a little carrying case for it. I said, I got to have me one of them. Works off the little propane bottles. It's 17 inches. It's got like
you say
kind of like a football goal shaped burner in it. If you remember the old, like from high school, the 8-shaped football goals where it's like 2 long rails and 1 cross member rail. That's what this has in there for a burner, and it runs off a propane bottle.
The little green ones?
Yeah, the little green ones, a camping bottle. And, man, it's for cooking at home, like on the countertop, you can't beat it. Mark said he takes his inside and turns his Vent-A-Hood on. He's got some souped-up Vent-A-Hood on his stove.
Yeah, he's got a really good Vent-A-Hood.
And he cooks on them inside. I wouldn't recommend that unless you got good ventilation. But, it ain't that bad. Well-ventilated area, it'll roll.
But, they pack theirs in the back of a side-by-side.
Yeah. That was where, and one of the guys I went squirrel hunting with this year, we stopped and ate lunch before we were out hunting. They had one, they broke them out. And it's like, man, I got to get, that kind of pushed me over the top. So I use it at the house because I don't have room for another big Blackstone, and I think it makes a great, like, portable version of a flat top grill.
You could easily throw it in the back of a truck or.
Oh, yeah. Anything.
It'd be great for tailgating.
Tailgating. That was what I was thinking, too. Football food. Tailgate food, that's what led me to want to do some recipes for the Super Bowl on it. Not that everybody's tailgating for the Super Bowl. I'm sure some people are.
Yeah. So how do you think this baby Blackstone compares to, can I call it a baby Blackstone?
Yeah, I don't see why not. We can call it whatever we want. Baby flat top, but it's the baby Blackstone.
How does it compare to the big one?
I mean, it cooks just the same. It's just a smaller surface area. It heats up so the first thing I did was had to burn it in. You always get one.
So do you have to season them? Like, is that a requirement before you use them?
I mean, that's what the directions say.
Okay.
When you open up the box, you're supposed to season that top because it's just a steel metal top that hadn't had anything cooked on it. You're supposed to clean it first, a little soap. That's the only time you're supposed to like soap and water it.
Yeah.
Get all the packing oil or grease or whatever, however it came. Get that off of it. Put a thin coat of oil on it. Crank the heat up on it, and you cook it till that top starts burning. Not really burning, but turning dark black. Kind of like a cast iron does. That's what you're trying to build up that seasoning on it. If you put too much oil, you got to start over and scrape it off. It'll get gummy on you.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of do
Same
it.
thing with a cast iron.
Yeah, cast iron will do the same thing, but it's just about having some heat on it, getting that top season. The more you cook on it, the better it's going to get. Just always keep it clean and get that. What I do is once the first time I season, I put a light coat of oil on it, turn it up. It'll start turning black. I'll wipe it down, put a little more oil. Just keep repeating that process 5 or 6 times. It took me a whole bottle to do the first thing, one of the little camping bottles.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was probably an hour and a half on high.
It took them.
It was a while.
Yeah.
And then after that,
total oil would you estimate you used during that
Oh,
time period?
I don't know, quarter cup, half cup.
Yeah.
I might use like out the neck out of the bottle, but I wouldn't put in a whole lot. Maybe like 2 tablespoons each time.
Yeah.
Using paper towel and tongs and kind of spreading it around. And it'll season itself doing that. You just don't want it to pull, and you don't want the oil to get too thick. So you want to keep a light, thin layer on it while it's doing that. And you'll know because it'll start smoking. Once it stops smoking, it's time to wipe it back down, get another little light cut on it, and it'll start smoking again. You just keep repeating that process, and the dark color of the flat top, the kind of that seasoning look will start spreading out from the hottest heat out. And like mine didn't go all the way out to every corner, but the majority of the surface was really good and seasoned.
When you first seasoned your big Blackstone, did it go out to all the little corners?
Not at first.
And that just happens over time?
That just happens over time, cooking on it. Then I had to cook something on it. So that's why I was doing a Super Bowl recipe. And I don't know if will it be out before we release the podcast?
Yeah, I think it's coming out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. So I did Philly Cheeseburgers.
Well, I was going to talk about that.
Okay. Well, I had to cook burgers on it first. I think the important thing is go to cooking on something that puts out some grease too, and cooking on it, like bacon, sausage, burgers, anything like that is going to put out some oil, and it's going to season that gravy even more. It's just like a good cast iron skillet. You cook in it, you take care of it, it's going to get that cooking service even better.
So what's the difference between like one of these Blackstones and what they're cooking on when you go to a hibachi restaurant?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's gas-powered burners underneath these tops they're using, same kind of thing. I don't know if...
But it's essentially the same kind of surface area?
I think so, yeah. They do the same treatment to them. I don't know exactly what the makeup is on those hibachi tables, but...
Yeah,
it's
you don't have the spec.
Yeah, it's something steel. I would imagine some kind of iron steel or something.
I was just thinking I've seen them clean it with like lemon. They never come out with a
Most
cleaner,
of the time what they do is they'll
lemon.
scrape it down, they'll hit it with water, and they got a hot rag right there. They'll wipe it down real good, and then they'll put oil back on it, kind of spread that out, wipe that down, turn the heat off, and just kind of let the heat of it, let that oil kind of do its thing, lubricate everything back up.
Get it ready.
And that's essentially that's what you do that's what I do for my cleaning stage on my Blackstone. So I usually don't put the water. I usually go with a good scrub down, get me some paper towels, wipe anything up, anything that I couldn't scrape out the little trough. And then I'll put another little light coat of oil, turn the heat down to low, let it sit a few minutes, and then cut it off. Make sure no oil's pooled on it. Let it just kind of absorb in. It gets that seasoned texture back just right. And then when it's completely cool, you can put your cover over it. That's one thing. If you're keeping it outside, you got to keep that cooking surface covered because you don't want dust and debris and insects and all the stuff that's, around a cooking area. You don't want that sticking to your griddle or getting on it. So I either buy one that's got a lid or keep a cover on it. And I do that at camp too.
So with this little baby one, do you have a lid? Did it come with a lid?
It didn't come with a lid, but the cool thing about this little travel one is when it cools down, you can take the lid and flip it upside down and put it over the top and then put it in the little travel carry case. And I bought that separate, I think. I want to say I bought this at Walmart. I want to say it was $89
for the grill.
And then the top was like $25. And I think I bought the top. I bought it off Walmart too. It wasn't a Blackstone carrying case. It was some aftermarket, but it worked fine.
That's a steal. What was that little tailgate, Traeger tailgater? What was it going for, like 5, 6?
Yeah, but that's different because you can smoke on it.
I know, but still.
No, it ain't that high. I think it's like $253.
That's about the same as the electric griddle that I have. I think I paid like $89 for it, and it still works really good.
Does it heat up just the same? And do pretty good?
Yeah, it's a different material. Like it's not a flat top material or anything like that.
It like
it's more
Teflon,
like an enamel.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
okay.
kind of. And I use metal on it and everything, and like I abuse the heck out of it. And
Is it a Blackstone brand?
Yes, Blackstone brand. I think it's called their E series or something like that.
Yeah.
And you just plug it in the wall?
Plug it in the wall and go.
Cook inside, no ventilation?
Cook inside, no ventilation. Lots of like breakfast food.
Yeah.
We've cooked smash burgers, like everything on it, and they all turn out really good. So
I can see it working. I mean, it's no different than an electric flat top, you know?
Yeah, and I use those sometimes.
That one has like a non-stick surface, though.
My little cheap.
That you do pancakes and stuff on?
Yeah.
It's just like a countertop plug-in electric flat top.
Yeah. It was like $20, $25 at Walmart kind of thing.
No, but this little, I think it's called the Adventure Series or something like that, 17-inch. Now, I know Jay had the one that was a little bit bigger. It might have been like a 24-inch, and it took 2 burners, and he said he didn't like it as much as he did the smaller, the 17-inch with 1 burner. He said he felt like it was more efficient. It didn't use as much fuel. It heated the cooking surface up more. Now, you are limited to what you can cook on it, because it's only 17-inch cooking surface, I guess. So.
But you were cooking burgers, and you had...
I cooked burgers and Philly cheesesteaks with the vegetables all on the same flat top. 4 good-sized burgers.
But if you were just cooking burgers, you could easily get 8 on that.
Oh, easy, yeah. I don't see, for a family, that's plenty big enough.
Yeah. For breakfast, I could easily see you cooking enough pancakes for...
Yeah, definitely. You cook probably 8 to 10 pancakes at a time. Yeah.
Grilled cheese sandwiches. So, talking about...
Very versatile.
Yeah. Talking about your Super Bowl recipes, we cooked a couple of recipes this weekend.
We did. So we got the Eagles and we got the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We'll talk about who we picking at the end. But I wanted to come up with a couple recipes, to get out, some people give some people some ideas on some football stuff.
You just like coming out with new football recipes.
Love cooking. Yeah, I do. And these weren't like specifically geared towards the teams, but I did take a little geographical inspiration on them. So the first one I did was the Philly cheeseburger. When I think of Philadelphia or, anything sports related or anything, somebody says Philly, I immediately think of Philly cheesesteaks. I don't know why. It's just the thing.
I think of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Do you? Yeah, that's right. I can see Charlie.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what I did, and we have one of my favorite little wing joints right here, in DeSoto County, Mr. P's, has a Philly cheeseburger on their menu. And if I'm not getting wings there, it's a burger. It's just like what I did.
Okay.
It's a burger topped, standard burger, cheese on the burger, and then on top of the burger, before you put the top bun on, you pallet high full of cheesesteak meat with the peppers and onions, with the cheese whiz all over the top, and then your top bun. So it's 2 sandwiches in one, and it's definitely super.
Yeah.
It is a fill you up burger. It really is. And so that was what I wanted to, kind of create my version of it on the Blackstone. And I figured that's a great Super Bowl food.
Yeah.
Somebody's cooking for the football game this weekend. They got people coming over. You don't have to have the flat top to do it. You could grill the burgers. You could cook the burgers however you wanted to. You could do your Philly cheesesteak meat in an iron skillet or on the stovetop, however you wanted to do it. And just combine both of them and do this recipe. So don't think you got to go buy the Blackstone just to do it. It worked. It helps. It's easy cooking it on a flat top.
You could serve Philly cheesesteaks too. If you
if you just want to do. Man, the sky's the limit on that. Because I did it as a big burger just because it's like a manly thing, a manly meal.
Yeah.
But you could do that sliders.
Oh,
you can make little Philly cheeseburger sliders with it to make them smaller. You could take, use smaller burger patties. It wouldn't take as much meat. The best Philly cheesesteak meat is when they take a whole ribeye that's about semi-froze. They'll run it on a slicer and they'll get it super shaved thin. And it's basically little flat ribeye steaks that are paper thin. And that, and the good Philly cheese joints
thought
do
about
this.
it that way, but
they slice them up and they'll take those and they'll put them between parchment paper so they can peel them right off. They'll throw them on the flat top, seasoning them, kind of chop them a little bit with the spatulas to kind of break the meat up. Then they'll have their pile of vegetables sauteed over to the side. Most of the time, it's peppers and onions. I like adding mushrooms to mine. You could probably put whatever you wanted in there.
Yeah, you could.
Whatever you like, but peppers and onions is traditional. If you wanted to use jalapenos,
Yeah,
or
you've
like
done
that,
a
nacho Philly cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
with
And then
jalapenos.
traditionally, a Philly cheesesteak is served on just think an Italian bread roll, like po' boy size kind of bread, sub roll. Yeah, the big one, like a foot long. That's how they're served. A pallet full of meat, put the cheese on it, wrap it up, and you're out the door. And so you could do that. Mini versions, it would be simple to do.
You did tailgate cheesesteaks.
Yeah, I did it before. I did it on a flat top insert that I had I may have did it on the back of a grill grates on the PK.
I think it's a PK, yeah.
Yeah, but PK makes a flat grilling surface now that would work too.
Yeah. But those are really good.
Yeah.
You type of those. I will say this.
Melted cheese and steak with peppers and onions. How can that be bad?
So we bought real Cheese Whiz.
Yeah, we bought Cheese Whiz brand. You're not a fan, and I don't know in Philadelphia,
it's okay. But it's no nacho.
Yeah, no, it's not supposed to be nacho cheese.
I know, but nacho cheese is.
It's not.
So much.
All of a sudden, you've got Mexican Philly cheese. Then that's not a. Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
it's not a Philly. It's more of a. I don't know.
Are you talking about the brand that has like the broccoli on it?
Yes.
That's dipped in cheese.
Yeah. It's just processed cheese in a jar.
Yeah.
That's kind of runny.
It's
It's not bad on it. Personally, if I had my choice on a cheesesteak, I'm probably going to go provolone or mozzarella.
Well, you did put provolone.
Well, I
on the
did that on the
burger.
burger. So what I did, I just bought me some, burger patties already formed from Kroger. They were like 80-20 choice burger patties, patted out. I could have patted my own. It's no problem. If you want to do that, do it. But I went the easy route because I was thinking football food. What's going to be easy? And you're going to enjoy the game if you can make this easy on yourself. So I took those burger patties, hit them with some AP, down on the Blackstone, season the backside, let them go 4 or 5 minutes till they get a good crust on them, flip them over, scoot them over to the far side. My heat's still running about medium, I'm not cranking it up at this time, and just letting the burgers sit there and kind of finish. I like them about, medium well. I'm not if I buy a prepackaged burger, I'm not eating it mid-rare. I'm not that brave. So I want it, almost no pink. But it's scooted over the side, got its crust working on it. And then I throw my vegetables down. I've got thinly sliced strips of sweet onion and green bell pepper. Get those sauteed, hit them with a little vegetable oil or butter, whatever you want to do. A little AP seasoning on them, toss them around, get them happy, starting to soften, scoot them over to the side. Throw my steak on. Now, for my steak, our Kroger sells these little trays of thinly sliced steak is what it says, but it's 4 cheesesteaks. And they do it for pork, and they do it with chicken too.
They do it with
comes on a little tray.
I
don't know what cut of steak it is. If I had to guess, it's probably top round or rump roast or something like that. It's something cheap that they've just sliced super thin.
Super thin.
Oh, super thin, paper thin, see through it almost.
Yeah.
But I just take that, pile it up on the grate, season it really good, hit it with just a little oil to give it some fat to keep it going. Start chopping it with my spatula, kind of breaking it up. As the meat, when I no longer see pink, it's pretty much done because it doesn't take it long to cook. But then I take my spatula, mix my vegetables with it, combine it all, and then just scoot it to the side, and you're ready to assemble your burger now. I toast my buns lightly. You can do it on the flat top, or you can throw them on, in the oven, toaster oven, whatever you have. Put a nice little layer of mayo on it, some sliced pickles. If you wanted a little sliced onion, you could. I didn't. I just went pickles and mayo. Burger patty. Before I took the burgers up, I placed 1 slice of provolone over each patty. Burger, Philly cheesesteak meat, Cheese Whiz that we warmed up in the microwave, top bun, and done. And eat it and enjoy.
I don't know if you could eat a whole one. It's a lot of burger.
A lot. It is a lot. It was delicious.
It was really good.
It's a 2-quarter burger. You eat that? Yeah, it's a 2-quarter burger. You go ahead and get that the first quarter. By halftime, you'll be ready for something else.
Okay.
At least going to fill you up for a half. 2-quarter burger.
I like the idea of making them sliders because you get
it'll be
small
smaller.
amount, but you still get the delicious.
Oh, one thing I like to do with the sliders is just forgo the sliced steak, do your peppers and onions, and do your ground beef and make it loose. And just kind of cook it all up, and then
Still
top it with cheese and then slide it over on the slider bun. A little more cheese in the oven, get those hot and bubbly with the butter and stuff on them, and then you got little Philly cheesesteak sliders.
You also did a spicy avocado ranch dip.
y'all know we got to make some dips for any kind of football game or tailgate party or whatever you're doing.
I don't know where you got
Dips
this
are a part
idea,
of it.
but it's a great idea.
Well, I make this kind of an avocado crema
Yeah.
that's
for
really
tacos.
good on tacos. And so I was thinking, how could I take those flavors and turn it into a dip? And so I said, well, there's guacamole, but everybody knows guacamole. That's played out. Anybody can make guacamole.
Yeah.
I was like, let's do
And we
this a
love
little.
guacamole.
And we love guacamole.
Yeah.
I love guacamole. I like it fresh. I like it chunky with the pico and
Mm-hmm.
all that. But I wanted to make a creamy dip. So what I did, I took a block of cream cheese and just let it get room temp. And then I took 2 avocados, halved them, got the seed out, scored them a little bit, squeezed them in my sour cream, and started whooping it all up. And then to get it to the dip stage, you got to have some sour cream, and you got to have the key ingredient, Blue Plate mayonnaise. You could use whatever mayonnaise you like, but for shell, our house chooses Blue Plate.
Best
So-
marinade on the mayonnaise
So I
on the
added some Blue
planet.
Plate. I added.
This is a great time for a
yeah.
quick break to talk about Blue Plate.
It is perfect time to talk Blue Plate.
It's the best mayonnaise on the planet. Proud sponsor of the How to BBQ Right podcast.
That's right. Get you a jar too.
Get you a jar too.
They've got some new flavors coming out of here.
It will-
There's something in development.
It will change your life.
How could you make mayonnaise better?
You've never had mayonnaise till you've had Blue Plate.
I love your commercial style show. You got to write some commercials. You've never had mayonnaise till you've had Blue Plate.
I've seen a lot of people in the community like saying they can't find it on the store shelves and stuff. I do know that they do stock it on Amazon.
Yeah.
So if you're just wanting to try it, we talk about it all the time.
Walmart, Kroger.
They do have it.
In a pinch, get Hellman's, but you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, Duke's. Duke's is my second. But
Duke's, yeah.
I
Some
know.
folks like the Dukes.
it tastes almost as good as Blue Plate.
I guess some areas of the country just have really boring mayonnaise taste because like some people are like, oh yeah, I can only find like Best Choice and Hellman's. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
So those are I think that's the biggest mayonnaise company in the country. And it's the exact same mayonnaise. It's like west of the Rockies is, what'd you call it, Best Choice or Best Value or something like
Best Value,
that?
Best Choice, something like that.
And then east of the Rockies is Hellman's. Same formulas, same everything. I saw this on History Channel. They did not mention Blue Plate on the History Channel.
So anyway, spicy avocado ranch dip.
So after I added the Blue Plate,
You've whipped in avocados and cream cheese.
we go mayonnaise, we go sour cream, we go shredded Mexican cheese in it. You got to go grande gringo in it.
Diced green chilies.
And get some heat and some more texture from a can, like 4-ounce can of diced green chilies. And basically, you season it with the grande gringo, stir it up, and you want it not chunky, but not all the way smooth either. It's not
Yeah.
like a French onion dip you'd buy at the store. It's got some texture to it with the chilies and the avocado.
I bet you could make it as textured as you want it.
Oh, yeah. And then, so it needs to sit for at least an hour. It's just like anything. These flavors need to come together. Let it sit in the
Oh,
refrigerator.
the spicy ranch packet. You
Oh,
forgot
yeah, I
about
forgot
that.
the spicy ranch packet. So 1 packet of Hidden Valley Ranch spicy ranch dip mix.
Yeah.
That's important. That gives it some flavor. That's what takes long to bring some flavor out. Put it in the refrigerator for about an hour, cover with plastic wrap, bring it out, put it in whatever kind of serving dish you want. Now, this takes it to another level. The tahini. If y'all have never had tahini, it's kind of think of it as a citric seasoning.
That's like, I was like, how's he fix to explain
Yeah,
this?
it's a citric seasoning. So it has, I guess, a lot of citric acid or citrus flavors in it. But on the bottle, it's meant for fruit. They call it a fruit seasoning because it brings out the flavors. Avocado is a fruit. So, and it's really good just on a slice of avocado with a little tahini. It's not salt. Tahini's not salty. Often you'll see, Mexican recipes or bartenders at Mexican restaurants or something, they use it as like a rimming for a margarita or a drink or something like that. But it's really good. So I sprinkle that over the top of it, and that citrus element brings out the flavor and everything. I don't know if it's got MSG in it. I had never looked, but it wouldn't surprise me because it
But it
gives you has that
feeling.
effect
Yeah.
because it just wakes all these flavors up with it. And then fresh cilantro. And, if you wanted to omit cilantro, you could, but I think it needed it.
So I saw a few people asking, you didn't add any lime juice to it, so does the avocado turn brown? And
No,
we
it
didn't
did
have
not.
any
Yeah.
problem with it turning brown.
I think probably what vinegar is in the mayo probably
yeah. Or just
helps
the fact
it or something. Or
and all the good old
yeah.
creams.
There's still some of it left in our refrigerator, and it hasn't turned brown. And, it's just in a dish covered. It's not like,
A little Tupperware.
yeah, I hadn't opened it to see. It's just still sitting in there.
I thought that was one of the best dips we've done in a while.
Oh, it was so good. And it's easy. There's no cooking to it.
Yeah.
At first, I was going to like, should I top this with bacon? And I was like, no, I'm going to keep it. Is it vegetarian?
Yeah,
It's got
it
cheese
would be
in it.
That would be vegan.
Cheese, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vegetarian.
Well, there's I went vegetarian this week with that recipe. And then you serve it with whatever kind of chip. It's great with tortilla chips, whatever you want. Crackers, you could,
If you like guacamole,
could you
give
put it
that
on a
try.
taco? It probably would be pretty good.
You could put that on anything.
Yeah, it's good.
Roll it up in some white bread.
It's guacamole to another level. Like, just think of creamy guacamole. Extra calories, extra cheese.
Yeah. Take some guacamole and let's make it unhealthy.
Yeah, that's pretty much
or
what
less
I did.
healthy. Yeah.
Oh, it's unhealthy. Cheese and sour cream and mayo.
You get that dairy.
Because it's got cream cheese. Yeah, it's not lactose intolerant. Cream cheese, mayo, sour cream, cheese. And then the guac's just for the color. No, you do get the flavor of the avocado.
You do. And I love avocado. It was a great dip.
It's a great way to introduce people to avocado, people that wouldn't eat it, or guacamole, Try this dip.
You also did a crawfish rotel. So what is rotel? Is this just a southern thing?
Tyler, you can weigh in on that. Did y'all make rotel in Boston?
To my knowledge, no. Like growing up, it was just cheese dip or queso or whatever. Yeah. I don't remember seeing it up there, no. But when we got here, for sure. Like,
I mean, Rotel's at every party I've been to since I was old enough to go to parties.
Yeah.
Like, we had Rotel dip, and most of the time it was done in a microwave,
or crock-pot.
cubed up, or crock pot, cubed up Velveeta cheese, can of Rotel tomatoes, which is diced tomatoes and green chilies and pepper, and
some people add
a few
meat.
seasonings. Some people
don't.
Some people add cream cheese, whatever. But I wanted to take that version of it and make it super. And so I said, what could I do it with? Well, I said, I did this crawfish king cake the other day, the boudin crawfish king cake. And the cheese dip that I just used, prepared cheese dip mixed with the crawfish tails, was so good. I said, that's going to be a great skillet hot dip to stand alone. And so instead of using a prepared cheese dip, I said, I'll just make rotel. We'll call it crawfish rotel. And so it's easy. Like I took an andouille sausage link, cut it in half long ways, and then cut it back and sliced it, and then quartered that. So it made little cubes of the
it was
sausage.
Little, very small bite.
Yeah,
not tiny, but a small bite.
Yeah, and then I diced like half a sweet onion, half a red bell pepper, and the sausage, pepper, and onions, they all were about the same size, so it kind of just blended in. Threw those in a hot iron skillet on the grill. You could do this on stovetop, but I just had my grill running about 350. Let that sausage start cooking down, releasing some oil, rendering, peppers getting happy, translucent, soft. Once that all got going, I was like, well, I'll probably have to drain the grease out. Well, there wasn't that much grease in my iron skillet.
Oh, you threw in garlic too?
Oh, yeah, and then about halfway I threw in some garlic, about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic that I minced up. Mixed that all around, and if it was extra greasy, I was going to drain it because I didn't want my dip greasy. But there wasn't anything that I needed to get out. I mean, I was like, well, really don't have to. I'm ready to move on. So at that point, I took 1 pound of Velveeta cheese, which it comes in we bought the big box. It used to be $5. I think it's like $10 now. It's crazy how high Velveeta is. American processed cheese, like $10. People complaining about eggs. It's Velveeta we're getting robbed of. Man, it can't be that expensive. But chop up half that block and then dice it into cubes. Add that to your, add my can of Rotel, and then I add my cheese. And then I was like, okay, it's probably going to take 15, 20 minutes for this cheese to start melting. That skillet was good and hot. The peppers and the sausage and onions were hot. It melted that cheese probably within 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, it was quick.
I went back, peeked at it, started stirring it, and it just comes together. It makes this, and it's a good cheese dip right there. But to take it to the next level, to make it crawfishy, special, I took a pound of Louisiana crawfish tails that I bought at the store, thawed them out, got any liquid off of them, just kind of let them set in a paper towel and a strainer. And then I added the crawfish tails and seasoned it heavily with King Crawl Cajun seasoning. You could use whatever Cajun seasoning you want. I probably put at least a tablespoon of the Cajun seasoning. And, most people think of Rotel as kind of a Mexican dish or something, but it's not. I mean, it's really not, unless you season it that way. It doesn't have like that cumin flavor or anything, and you could turn it into the Mexican dish by adding some oregano and cumin, stuff like that. But with the Cajun seasonings, oh man, it was so good. We served it with some, took a French baguette, sliced it up, a little olive oil, threw it under the broiler, let it get toasty. So you had these little toast points, and that's what we served it with.
You topped it with green onions just for
just for a garnish.
Nice,
yeah.
But
it's really
good.
I'm telling y'all got to try that one so I've had a version of it similar. There used to be a restaurant in Hernando called Timbo's. It was on the square years ago. First place I ever had crawfish dip. They just called it crawfish dip. Come out in one of these bread bowls. They hollow out the bowl, fill it up, and then you dip the
bread bowl.
But I thought about doing. I was like, I don't want to do a bread bowl. It just gets soggy.
I hate a bread bowl.
It just gets soggy, and the bread they tear out. It's not great for dipping.
Yeah.
Give me the toast points. But Tim, he still does a version of that on his crawfish bread at the Parish here in town. It just you can't buy it as the dip anymore.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'd make it and sell it like that. If I just want a bowl of it, it's so good. And I'm sure his is like a cheese sauce. They probably do like a bechamel cheese sauce and do all that. No, use Velveeta.
Can I get that steak topper as a?
And you could use American.
I don't know
cheese to do it. But you could use white cheese if you wanted to.
The Velveeta and the Rotel is what makes the Rotel for it. Yes. It was really, really good. Very rich.
You could make that in a crock pot, but you would need to saute your sausage and vegetables on the stovetop, add it to the crock pot, then put everything else in there. But just don't throw your crawfish tails in too soon. That's the whole key to that recipe. You don't want to get them because they're already cooked. When they tell them out, it's cooked crawfish and they freeze it. So basically, you're just trying to warm it back up. And so when I put the crawfish in there in the seasoning, it didn't stay on the grill another 5-10 minutes tops, and it's ready to go. So if you add your crawfish tails in a crock pot, do it at the very last minute, let it go just a few minutes, and then serve it.
You could also, you said something about you could use shrimp.
Yeah, if you don't like crawfish, you could definitely do shrimp.
And make it shrimp rotel dip.
Do a lobster rotel. Whatever kind of seafood you wanted to put in there would probably be really, really good.
I like the little baguettes that we did, but I like the dip with the Tostitas.
Yeah, like the scoops
tortilla
or whatever.
chips. Yeah. I thought that was the best vehicle.
You could even those need like a corn tortilla type chip for I think so too for the dip. The cold dip.
But still, all four of those were pretty banger restaurants.
Yeah, we did the chicken. We didn't talk about that one.
Oh yeah, the Super BBQ Chicken
Sandwich. So
Sandwich.
for Kansas City, when I thought of Kansas City, y'all know I think barbecue. I don't know what else they do in Kansas City. I thought it was barbecue. I mean, I know the Chiefs play there, but it's known for barbecue to me. And so I talked to Greg Rempe about this on his podcast last night. He had a question, kind of the same thing. And I told him the first thing that came to my mind when I think Kansas City barbecue is burnt ends. And so I was on the verge of doing something with burnt ends. I said, well, what else could I do? More sandwich, more football friendly, because the burnt ends take a while.
Yeah,
you got to.
It's hard to find
just the point.
Yeah.
So I decided to do a chicken sandwich. What else is barbecue to me about Kansas City? I don't know where I was going with that. That's what I told Greg. But I decided I was going to do a super barbecue chicken sandwich, and that's kind of. I didn't say it was for Kansas City, but that was my take on if I was in Kansas City, what I'd be eating on Super Bowl. So boneless, skinless thighs, seasoned up on the grill. Had me a little sauce get warm while they were cooking. It doesn't take them long. The 300, they're 45 minutes. They're pretty much done. 165. Dunk them in sauce, finish them out. While that's going, I took some smoked sausages, split them in about 2-inch pieces, and then kind of butterflied them so they'd lay flat on my sandwich. Hit them with some hot rub, let them get happy, render down, smoke some. And then when I made the sandwich, I took a steak roll, kind of a hoagie roll, the long oblong one, toasted it, blue plate, pickles, sliced thin onion, big piece of the chicken thigh on one side, another chicken thigh on the other side, so you're getting a 2-piece sandwich. Sausage on each top of, a link of sausage on top of each chicken thigh. Topped it with some creamy coleslaw, top bun, and I challenge you to eat that whole sandwich too.
It was big.
It's a man sandwich too. Which one did you like better, the burger or the chicken sandwich? Did you?
Yeah, I mean, Michael liked the chicken sandwich better.
Yeah, they're both really good.
Yeah, it was just a lot going on in that chicken sandwich with the sausage.
I mean, it's a lot of meat. You got 2 pieces of chicken and
it's a lot.
A bunch of sausage too.
This must have been a 1-bite day for you. Like you had to try 1 bite.
Oh, I was so at the end of the day after I tried the 2 dips and the 2 sandwiches on camera. I don't want to eat anything. I didn't eat anything else that day. It was tough.
We had a Super Bowl giveaway in the community.
We did.
Yeah. Did we pick a winner? Or?
We'll be announcing them today.
Oh, okay.
So today is Wednesday, February.
Did we have some cool stuff?
Yeah. So everybody was talking about what they're cooking for Super Bowl. That was the thing. You got to comment.
So what was the average thing people are cooking?
Beef was number 1.
Just something with beef.
Yeah. Wings was number 2.
I would have guessed wings.
Me too. A dip.
Oh, everybody's having a dip.
Was number 3.
Whether you bake it or buy it, or you're gonna have a dip, right?
Yeah. Multiple. If you're
Hot and cold.
doing it right. Yeah.
Was there anything crazy, like exotic or?
We were going over this list yesterday, and Tyler goes, "Atomic Buffalo Turds. What the heck is that?"
What do you see?
Explain to Tyler what an Atomic Buffalo Turd is.
They are, ABTs, and you've probably seen it called that before, but all it is like a stuffed pepper wrapped in bacon. They take a jalapeno pepper. You see them called, I guess, Texas Twinkies or what else do people call them?
Jalapeno
That's
poppers.
That's what I would know it as.
Yeah.
Yeah, jalapeno
Bacon
poppers.
wrapped jalapeno poppers, yeah.
Same thing.
I like Atomic Buffalo Turds. Wait.
Now they
Where
do
did that come from?
So they do some where it's like you take your sauce, your pepper, stuff it with seasoned cream cheese, encase it in sausage, and so it's like an oblong meatball, and then it's wrapped in bacon. Armadillo egg.
Armadillo egg, yeah.
I saw somebody just posted a beautiful picture of those in the community. But that's still a version of kind of same thing.
What's your favorite football food?
Wings.
Wings. I already knew that.
That's one of my favorite foods, period. Wings.
I love football food in general,
Oh, yeah. It's my favorite food group.
Non-fancy appetizers, I guess. Yeah.
Anything you can eat and drink beer with?
Dip, sliders, fries.
Cheese boards.
Yeah. Pizza, hot dogs.
So I thought about this. You could do a Philly cheesesteak pizza. That would be a good pizza.
That would be a good pizza.
Use a white sauce.
They have one at Domino's that is like really, really good.
Really?
I've never tried it, yeah. It's like a white American cheese base.
Yeah.
Then the cheese goes on top. And it's really, there's no sauce on it at all. I know that sounds kind of weird.
I like a no sauce.
And then you kind of dip the pizza in like ranch or something like that. It's phenomenal.
Well, I think that would be really good. I could see it with almost like a provolone or Alfredo type sauce base, something like that. Then with your steak, you probably have to go ahead and cook the steak some. I don't know if it'd cook fully. Do they put pieces of steak on it, or is it like ground beef?
Yeah, that's like pre-cooked, like shaved.
Oh, yeah.
Philly meat.
Steakums.
Yeah, steakums.
You could do like that. So our deli at Kroger sells Boar's Head brand, and they have a London Broil that they thinly slice. And, man, it's some of the best roast beef. It's super rare. Yeah, that would be really good on the pizza.
And see how
you
far
could cheat and use that as a Philly cheesesteak meat. I've seen people do it, especially if you're making sliders.
Good, because it already has some flavor.
Yeah, yeah. It's mainly salt, so that's the only flavor you're getting. But beef and salt, but it works.
So, what would you say would be the best dish if you're hosting the party? You're hosting a fantasy or Super Bowl party.
Are you worried about? You want to get team specific?
No.
I would do both. I would. So for this Super Bowl, if I was hosting a party, I would have something representing Philly, so Philly cheesesteaks of some sort, and then I would have some barbecue representing Kansas City, whether it be barbecue wings or probably wouldn't do pulled pork. I'd probably do ribs or wings or brisket of some sort. Yeah, that's what I would serve.
You have a recipe for Kansas City barbecue wings.
Yeah, that'd be a great one.
Yeah, it was really
good. I think of it as almost like a hot wing with a sweet and tangy barbecue sauce element in the sauce.
Yeah.
So you add that to like a traditional buffalo sauce, but you smoke the wing, and then you cut them in that sauce and let them cook down, or they're super tender. It's not a crunchy wing at all. It's kind of barbecue wing.
But bite.
Those would be super bite through, super soft skin. That'd be an excellent choice.
So what is going to be your recipe if you're just taking something somewhere? You're in charge of a dip or a side or something like that. I'd do that avocado ranch.
You would do that avocado ranch. I was thinking crack dip.
Yeah.
I love crack dip. It's It's pretty much sour cream, mayonnaise, cheese, bacon, green onion. That's all it is.
And ranch packet.
And ranch packet.
Yeah.
So it's like the Don't Tell Your Doctor dip.
Yeah. It's a version of that. It's kind of where I got that and tuned it up.
He added a stick of butter to the Don't Tell Your Doctor dip.
I would do that. I would definitely do that. A stick of butter to that dip. It's a game changer. And don't tell nobody you put a stick of butter in it. You're eating butter dip. It's a good old butter dip.
This is delicious. What's in it?
Wait, I could eat this on a saltine cracker. I know you could. Butter dip.
Just don't go to your doctor for a few days.
Don't tell your doctor.
Do not schedule like a physical or a blood check-in on Monday after Super Bowl.
After Super Bowl.
You need to go on a 2-week cleanse after the Super Bowl. Then go do all your doctoring.
So I got.
That's where I'd like to start my New Year's resolution after Super Bowl. That's kind of my fiscal year runs Super Bowl Monday to Super Bowl Monday. It accumulates up. Like, everybody's got Mardi Gras and they're doing Fat Tuesday. My Fat Tuesday is Super Bowl Sunday.
Whatever.
Because then after that, it's like, I need to change my life. I need to clear out. I need to drink less. I've had all winter. Because January 1st, I still got 30 days of hunting season. And in hunting season, anything goes. So, you're drinking whiskey in the morning and it's beers at night and steaks and all this good food. I can't just jump into New Year's resolution. Biscuits and gravy for breakfast. Yeah. And so shots in the duck blind.
So then after Super Bowl, you go on a cleanse for 2 days and then you go to the Bahamas and it's over.
No, that's right. I got to change that. It's going to be after the Bahamas. Then it goes into, we're probably going to go somewhere spring break. So I need to tighten up.
Patrick's Day's right around the corner.
Ooh, that's another favorite holiday. That's where you save up your cheat day, though. That's just a one-dayer. Yeah.
Gotcha. It's not a whole season.
Don't judge me. It's all I got to say. Don't do as I say. Or don't do as I do, or whatever. I don't even know this saying. I can't even get that right.
Pro tips.
Yeah, pro tips. Don't follow my calendar. You'll have fun, but it's probably not good for you.
You'll enjoy yourself, but so I got some community questions to ask you.
All right.
I thought that was pretty good. Somebody said that they were wanting to bring cream cheese to a Super Bowl party, but the way their whole smoked cream cheese. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wanting to bring smoked cream cheese to a Super Bowl party, but the way that their whole schedule is, they're not going to be able to do it that Sunday morning. Could they do it Saturday and then serve it Sunday?
That's it needs to be done and served immediately.
You don't think it'll hold up?
You're going to have to reheat it.
Just let it come up to room temp.
I don't know, man. I think you're losing the effect because to me, the whole smoked cream cheese is that it's warm cream cheese. So if you're going to rewarm it when you get there, you might as well cook it when you get there. It's not like it takes hours to cook.
Could you smoke it and then reheat it?
Yeah. No, because it changes it too much. I think you're going to have to do it there. Just tell wherever you're going to have a grill ready for you. I don't know how. There's no way you could transport that and it still be good.
I think it also probably depends on what you're putting on the cream cheese. Because if you're doing like the bacon jam cream cheese, that may not maybe you could not top
that would totally
it yet.
Not work.
Yeah,
but if it's just the barbecue rub on there, then
I've never ate it cold. I've always had it.
It won't be cold by the time it comes up to room temp.
I don't know, man. Yeah, you could try it, but I don't think you're going to get the same effect as it coming in the skillet, coming off the grill. Now, if you're talking about trying to slow smoke it just to get some smoked flavor on it, and then wrap it up and let it develop, and you'd have smoked cream cheese, but it's not the same dish as the dip. Yeah. Because the whole point is it's warm in the skillet or whatever you're cooking it on, and you're serving it right on that with some kind of topping.
And it's hot.
And it's hot. Because cream cheese hot is different than cream cheese cold. Mm-hmm. It just takes on a different flavor. So I don't think once you did it the day before, even the morning of, it needs to be done right before you're going to serve it. That'd be your suggestion. Yeah, that'd be my suggestion. I hate it because I don't have a better answer
think
for
you're
that.
Really fine. Smoke it. Wrap it up.
You're just going to tell them, run it.
Run it. Yeah.
Run it.
That's my vote.
Heck yeah, run it, see how it is. And then when they say, well, that didn't turn out the way you did it, I was like, well, do it like I said, do it.
So this person said that they were disappointed in the final product of their wings. They cooked them on the pellet smoker. They seasoned them and cooked them. They cooked at 275, flipped it 45 minutes, and pulled them at 180.
They didn't cook it hot enough, and they didn't cook it long enough. And you got to make sure they're dry, too, not just a wet wing. So take them out of the pack, put them on a rack.
All right, let me ask you this. How do you cook chicken wings on a pellet grill?
So the way I cook chicken wings on a pellet grill, it doesn't get any easier. You want your wings pretty much crispy. That's the way I like to eat them. I mean, they're not going to be like fried crispy, but let me tell you real quick. This is how I cook wings on a pellet grill. I get me a jumbo pack of chicken wings, whole wings. I take them, I get them out of the package. I take paper towel, kind of dry them off, get them as dry as I can on paper towel. If they got any of those little pin feathers, pull those out, but arrange them on a drying rack, stick them in the refrigerator. At least an hour, 2 hours is great. But the refrigerator air, the air moving in there will dry that skin out fast if it's exposed to it. So take them out, hit them with a little cooking spray, season them with salt, pepper, garlic. I like my AP rub. That's all they need, salt, pepper, garlic at first. If you want to add a little onion powder, you could. But they're going on a hot grill, 400 degrees.
400.
400 on my pellet grill. Straight on the grill. And I usually don't flip them. You flip them sometimes. I usually don't. Depending on how many you got on there. If some of them's cooking too hot, you might have to flip them. But it takes 1 hour and about 5 minutes. And they should be about 204 internal. Then I take them off. Those jokers are crispy. The cooking sprays help that skin kind of fry a little bit. That salt and pepper and garlic sticking to it. It's a good wing at that, but it's just a plain grilled chicken wing at that point. Then I toss them in my sauce, whatever kind of sauce. I like a spicy garlic sauce. I like an Asian sauce. I like, jerk sauce, whatever barbecue sauce. But toss them in it after you get them off the grill and serve them. You just have your sauces a little warm. They don't have to be super hot, but I usually put mine in a plastic Tupperware type bowl with a lid. I'll take the lid off, stick the sauce in the microwave for 30 seconds, put me 5 or 6 whole wings in that bowl, put the lid on it, toss them around, tong them out on a platter, put the next group in, do the same thing. If I'm changing sauces, I'll pour that sauce out, bit the sink, rinse that bowl out, and do my next flavor. And that way it's assembly line and it works fast. And those wings right there are dynamite. They're easy.
I'll eat them straight off the pit before you toss them in a sauce. I
like
them like that.
Yeah,
They're
just
good.
Seasoned.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, okay, also I have done, if you just want kind of a seasoned wing, when they come off the pit, have you some melted butter in the bowl, about 2 or 3 tablespoons, season that butter with a little more AP, pop that in the microwave, toss your wings in that melted but seasoned butter, and it's one of the best savory wings you could eat.
Yeah.
They're not too saucy.
We call them butter wings.
Butter wings, yeah.
I'll just take some of them butter wings.
But they are delicious.
So now I got a question about a Weber. Have you ever used a Weber kettle with just charcoal to smoke? Not use any additional wood?
I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
But not intentionally. Like that was going to be all I'm going to do to it. I mean, why wouldn't you throw a few chunks of wood in there? But the snake method on a Weber works like a champ, You're going to get some flavor from it. It don't depending on what kind of charcoal you're using. If you're using a good charcoal that's got some wood in it. Like when we used to use Chef's Delight, is before we could get the Chef's Select charcoal, Chef's Delight had chunks of hickory and oak in the charcoal. You could see them. And so it smoked a lot more and gave you a lot more smoke flavor. Lump charcoal, it gives you more kind of wood flavor if you're using it. So, yeah, you can use just charcoal. And you can overpower by adding too much wood, too. Like, it doesn't need a whole lot of wood, so I don't see anything wrong with it.
All right. Another question for you. Somebody picked up a rump roast at Walmart. It was on sale. Great buy. They were thinking about cooking it for Super Bowl Sunday.
That's a good one.
How do they? What?
So I saw this comment before I came into this podcast, and I replied to it.
Oh, you did?
I was going to bring it up. I immediately said pit beef, Baltimore style, Charm City pit beef. You season it heavily on the outside. You put it on the grill and you get a good hot crust on it. It needs some higher heat. Think of searing it almost, not just like searing a steak.
So how would you recreate that on one of your pits?
So I had it on a Weber.
Okay.
I'd go 2-zone fire. I'd get it, olive oil on the outside, seasoned real heavily so that rub sticks. That's kind of my binder.
Heavy, like prime.
Yeah, like prime rib seasoning, really. But I like it peppery, salty, that kind of crust on it.
Yeah.
And then get it over to the higher heat part of the grill, not directly over on the Weber, but you want it getting pretty hot. The Weber, you don't have to do too much because it's kind of the high heat temp is there. But you want to get it and turn it to where it gets that crust on it on the outside, the bark set. Watch your internal temperature and then take it off when it gets to like 125. You want it more on the mid-rare side, 125, 130. And then you just slice it across the grain. It's kind of before, get an idea of where the grain's going and know where you need to slice it. If you needed to go ahead and make you a first cut before you season it so you can follow that line, you can do that too. But you want to get it crust on the outside of it and have it like almost rare on the inside. And they slice it paper thin across the grain. Like in those pit beef shops, they'll put it even on deli slicers. But then you just pile it high up on an onion bun. Serve it with whatever you want to serve it with. Barbecue sauce you can, creamy horseradishy sauce. But it's just pit beef. And a lot of times in those places that do serve pit beef, they'll have like a 2-zone fire on a big grill. So they'll have it started out on their higher heat side, then they'll move it down to the day as they're cutting it on the low side, and they'll just slice off it right there.
Oh, right there, and
let it keep going and just slice off of it. They're not really trying to cook it more. It's more of in a holding area.
Yeah.
Just say if you're holding for service. So that's what I would do.
So when you pulled it off the grill, would you let it rest?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to, but you just, you don't want, you kind of want that crustiness.
Yeah.
You don't have to say let it rest 2 hours or nothing like that. It's pretty much because you're keeping it rare. That's what I would do. I don't think I've ever done a recipe on pit beef.
You haven't. I've been.
I need to do one of those.
I said pulled beef sandwiches.
Yeah, that would be good too. No, you're taking it to
you're braising
the braid. Yeah, you're taking it to the breakdown stage.
Yep.
Where rump roast, it's one of those top round rump. It's lean, no internal fat hardly, tough tough muscle, working muscle. So it needs to either be broke down all the way like you're talking about, or served really rare across the grain.
Yeah.
So you could do it and make pulled beef sandwiches or something like that with it. That'd be pretty good too.
Yeah, I'd season it pretty heavily, put it on.
But just think of grilled roast beef. It's basically what pit beef is. The best deli roast beef you've ever had, but done on a pit.
Describe that, yeah.
That's the way you want
it. So this question is, I've been watching Malcolm's Jack Daniel ribs video, but they live in the UK, and it's very difficult for them to find that Captain Rodney's bouquet glaze. What's a good substitute for that?
Captain Rodney's. Let's see. I don't know what kind of products they would have for a glaze over there, but I would probably use you could mix up just say some honey and a little bit of vinegar to give it just a little bit of that pepper sauce kind of flavor. And then maybe some peppers chopped up in it or something like that. There's probably something that you could use. But it's almost like a sweet vinegar sauce. It's a thicker, think of the consistency. Jelly? If they have pepper jelly, that would definitely work. Just thin it down with a little water or apple juice or vinegar to get it to break up and liquefy. That would work. But it's almost like a vinegar syrup. It has if I could best describe Captain Rodney's, spicy vinegar syrup. Is what it's like. That's what that glaze is like. So anything that you could glaze,
and that's sweet too.
It's sweet. Spicy. Yeah, so it has that. It has that syrup flavor. You just think a simple syrup, simple syrup with a little vinegar and some peppers to give it the heat. So you could make you something like that would work as a glaze. So if you started with say, cup of sugar, maybe 3/4 of a cup of water, a couple tablespoons of vinegar. And then have you some dried peppers or chilies or something like that you're putting in there for some heat. Of course, add a little salt, season it a little bit. But you're just making this syrupy glaze, spicy, vinegary, syrupy glaze. It's really easy to do. You can do it with honey, you can do it with agave nectar. Anything sweet, that element would work. Sweet Thai chili sauce would work.
Yeah.
Like the sweet and sour sauce would work. So any of that stuff you could substitute. It's if you look at it that way, it's kind of what that Captain Rodney's product's like.
It's sweet. It's a sweet and spicy
syrup,
glazy salt. Yeah,
glaze, syrup, sugar. That's what it is.
So what are you cooking for the Super Bowl?
I've got to pack my bags, but I will guarantee you I am eating wings on Super Bowl Sunday. And then we'll probably have nachos or something. I've got some pork collar trim butts in the freezer that I need to cook. So I thought about throwing one of them on overnight, or staying up late Saturday, throwing it on, and getting up the next morning and holding it, just so I could make you some nachos or something. I don't have any super plans because we're going out of town, but I know I'm having wings. What's your plan?
I don't know.
I didn't plan a Super Bowl party this year because I know we were going out of town, and Monday and Tuesday are going to be crazy.
I got a couple invites.
Oh, do you? Well, I didn't know it was that kind of Super Bowl. I could change plans quick.
I don't know. I'm kind of wanting to try to make that avocado ranch dip again.
That would be a good one. I've got some new wing recipes I'm working on. I've got a kind of an Asian seasoning that I've been kicking around, and then I've got a kind of a garlic wing seasoning that I've been playing with. An actual wing
seasoning.
Yeah, they're actual wing seasonings. So I'm probably going to test and tune a little, make some wings.
I'm in for that.
Working on wingman stuff.
I'm all for the testing and tuning.
It's going to be a good game, though.
Who do you think's going to win? Who's your
I think
let's talk about that. Who's your pick?
I'm not betting. If I just had to pick one, man, I hate to say it, but I'm going to go Kansas City. Mahomes he's just got grit. When he wants to win, you ain't going to hardly beat him. I don't care if he can't walk, hobbling around. His whole team's beat up. They shouldn't win. Eagles got the better offensive line, probably got better running backs. Both of them got a Kelsey. So,
are you cheering for either
side? No.
I
don't like. I mean,
I'm not fans of Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I mean,
I like him.
They stomped on my Vikings this year, so that's a reason to not like the Eagles. But they got Brown, and he's an Ole Miss man. So,
quick question: how do you deal with that as a parent? Like, you have both of your kids are in the Super Bowl on opposing teams. Like, how does that play out in your household?
You got to get one of those split jerseys. Like, one side of it's Kansas City, one side of it's Eagles. Well, that'd be an ugly jersey, wouldn't it? Kind of red and orange and white, and then green and white, I guess. Or
I imagine there's worse things.
Yeah, I mean, you're super proud and everything, but like the next family get together afterwards, it's gonna be kind of.
At least they're both. So it's easier because you're just pulling for scores. Because if one of them was on offense and one of them on defense,
that'd be difficult.
That would be much better because they're playing each other constantly.
I actually saw them interview her, the mom of the Kelsey brothers.
Oh yeah,
she says
she's on the podcast this week.
Yeah,
I listened to it yesterday.
She's just cheering for the offenses. She wants.
That's what I mean. That's what you would do. She showed up with like cookies for them at the first day of Super Bowls.
Do you need some lunch money, baby?
Funny. But I think it's going to be, I mean, I'll watch half of it. It's too late for me to stay and watch this. If we're not going to like have a Super Bowl party, what's the use of watching the second half? You might as well go to bed and see who won the next day.
I was really hoping you wouldn't play in a Super Bowl party because it's never like I'm going to have 5 friends over and we're going to watch the game. It's like we're going to have prizes.
Extravaganza.
We're
passing the ball and whoever scores gets a prize off the table.
We're inviting everyone I've ever known.
100 people.
We're going to have this.
Hooters girls might show up.
Yeah. And then you build out this extensive menu.
Playground for the kids outside. We've done rented all these blow-up things. Gonna have every food group. That's how you throw a Super Bowl. How do you throw one? It's not just like get together with some Fritos and a dip. Open up cans of bean dip and nacho cheese. Let's watch the big game. Get 6 beers. Heck no. You need shots for every.
You're playing drinking games.
Oh,
yeah.
It's on. So I'm not doing that this year. Sure.
Yeah. So I'm not too disappointed that we're not throwing a big Super Bowl party this year.
Maybe next year. Oh, when the Vikings, I will be at that Super Bowl.
No party. We'll be at there.
We will be at that Super Bowl. Then we'll have it the national championship. To see, that's my rule on the Vikings. Like if they make it that far, it's like NFC championship blowout. That's the blowout party. Yeah. Because they probably ain't gonna make it to the Super Bowl. If they do, I'm going to Super Bowl.
Double party. Yeah.
Double party. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
I'm gonna be there all week. Like I'm gonna show up with cookies. I'm bringing ribs for the team.
Well, Mount, that's all I have for today.
All right. Well, I hope everybody has a great weekend and y'all watch the big game Sunday. Tyler, tell them about the community. What else we got going on?
Hey guys, so if y'all head over to facebook.com, there's an awesome community called the Let's Get to Cookin' community. We do monthly giveaways and all kinds of fun stuff over there. There's lots of like-minded pit masters and people to kind of help you out. You can share your recipes, whatever you want. We also just started a HowToBBQRight _ podcast on TikTok. So if you guys want to watch our shorts, head on over there. And if you want to catch all Malcolm's favorite recipes, head on over to HowToBBQRight.com and download us on the Google Play Store and the Apple Store.
That's right. And Shell,
like he's hit it all.
He's hit it all. How to barbecue right, every platform. Find us, connect, keep up with us. No, I like it. I like it. Well, hey, hope everybody has a great week. We will be back. Are we gonna be back next week?
No, we will. We are out next week
because we're gonna be with the umbrella drink. All right. Well, we'll see y'all in a couple weeks.
2 weeks. We'll be back 2 weeks.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll talk about who won the Super Bowl and what we did in the Bahamas. I'm not cooking in the Bahamas.
See if you come back with any inspiration recipe.
Yeah, there is a restaurant there that has ribs, like one of the little beach shacks has barbecue ribs. So I'm probably going to shoot a little video, Tyler, and shoot something to you to edit. Let's see what their ribs are like. They serve them with like mac and cheese.
What do you think they're like?
I have no idea. I don't think it's going to be good. Now the jerk chicken's good. I'll do a jerk chicken.
Oh yeah,
tasting. But until next week.
Did they say like Memphis style or was it just
barbecue? No. Barbecue ribs. Okay. It ought to be interesting. Yeah. We'll see y'all next time. We gone.